Kyron Richard Horman was born September 9, 2002, in Portland, Oregon, to Desiree Young and Kyron Horman, an engineer for Intel. The couple divorced 8 months into Young's pregnancy with Kyron, with Young citing irreconcilable differences. The two had been granted shared custody of Kyron until 2004, but when Young was diagnosed with kidney failure that required extensive medical intervention, Kyron took over full custody. Young still remained an active part of the child's upbringing. In 2007, Kyron married Terry Moulton, a substitute teacher originally from Roseburg. Kyron became romantically involved with Moulton around 2001 when he and Young were in the midst of divorcing. They married in 2007 while visiting Kauai, Hawaii. In December 2008, Moulton gave birth to a daughter, Kiara. Meanwhile, Kyron was a student at Skyline Elementary School near Forest Park. On June 4, 2010, Kyron was taken to Skyline Elementary School by his stepmother Terry Horman, who then stayed with him while he attended a science fair. Terry Horman stated that she left the school at around 8:45 a.m. and that she last remembered seeing Kyron walking down the hall to his class. However, Kyron was never seen in his first class and was instead marked as absent that day. Terry's statements to the police indicate that, after leaving the school at 8:45 a.m., she ran errands at 2 different Fred Meyer grocery stores until about 10:10 a.m. Between then and 11:39 a.m. She stated that she was driving her daughter around town in an attempt to use the motion of the vehicle to soothe the toddler's earache. Terry said that she then went to a local gym and exercised until about 12:40 p.m. By 1:21 p.m., she had arrived home and posted photos of Kyron at the science fair on Facebook. At 3:30 p.m., Terry and her husband, Kyron, walked with their daughter, Kiara, to the bus stop to meet Kyron. The bus driver told them that the boy had not boarded the bus and to call the school to ask his whereabouts. Terry did so, only to be informed by the school secretary that, as far as anyone there knew, Kyron had not been at school since early that day, that he had accordingly been marked absent. Realizing then that the boy was missing, the secretary called 911. Search efforts for Kyron were extensive and primarily focused on a 2-mile radius around Skyline Elementary and on Sauvie Island, approximately 6 miles away. Law enforcement did not disclose their reasons for searching the area where they did, which included a search of the Sauvie Island Bridge. On June 9, 2010, the Horman family, who had initially refused to speak with the media, released a statement. Kyron's family would like to thank people for support and interest in finding their son. The outpouring of support and continued effort strengthens their hope. We need for folks to continue to assist us in our goal. Please search your properties, cars, outbuildings, sheds, etc. Also check with neighbors and friends who may be on vacation or may need an assistance in searching. There are a lot of resources here to help you search, so please don't stop. It is obviously a difficult time. They want to speak to the public so you can hear it from Kyron's family as they come together to share their message. Their objective is to keep the focus on Kyron and not about anything else. On June 12th, around 300 trained rescuers were on the ground searching wooded areas near the school. The search for Kyron, which spanned 10 days, was the largest in Oregon history and included over 1,300 searchers from Oregon, Washington, and California. A reward posted for information leading to the discovery of Kyron, which was initially $25,000, expanded to $50,000 in late July 2010. In late June 2010, in the midst of the search, Kyron was reportedly told by investigators that Terry had offered their landscaper, Rodolfo Sanchez, a lot of money to unalive her husband. Sanchez testified in a deposition that Terry approached him to help unalive her husband in January 2010, 5 months before Kyron's disappearance. In her own deposition, Terry denied the charge. Investigators convinced Sanchez to confront Terry while wearing an audio surveillance device, but they were unable to obtain any evidence and could not make an arrest. On June 28, Kyron filed for divorce and obtained a restraining order against Terry. The divorce was granted and Terry was eventually granted supervised visitation with her daughter. During this time, Terry failed to separate polygraph examinations regarding Kyron's disappearance. In August 2010, it was announced that law enforcement were searching for an individual allegedly seen by 2 witnesses sitting inside Terry's truck outside Skyline Elementary the day of the disappearance. Bruce McCain, a former sheriff for the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, told CBS News, the identity of that second person, if he or she existed, could be critical in determining what happened to Kyron after 9 a.m. on June 4th. Meanwhile, in July 2010, a Multnomah County grand jury subpoenaed several friends of Terry, including Deed Spitzer, whom Young and Kyron described as having been in close communication with Terry and providing Terry with support and advice that is not in the best interests of our son. According to law enforcement, Spitzer was extremely cooperative and allowed a search of her property and car, as well as enduring 3 hours of questioning from detectives. On the day of Kyron's disappearance, Spitzer was gardening for a homeowner on Germantown Road in northwest Portland and was allegedly unaccounted for during a 3-hour period. Though Spitzer claimed she had never left the property, she also helped Terry purchase an untraceable cell phone after Kyron had moved out of the house. During this time, Spitzer told journalists, "There's this horror that my friend is going through. If I thought for a second that she was capable of foul play, I would not have been there. She would not have been my friend in the first place. In early August 2010, Young, Kane and the Skyline Elementary School principal were subpoenaed and testified during the grand jury hearing. In December 2010, it was reported by the Oregonian that the grand jury had yet to provide compelling evidence yielding a potential indictment. By November 29, 2010, search efforts in Kyron's case had cost an estimated $1.4 million, according to county commissioners, and yielded 4,257 tips. In May 2017, it was reported by Portland station KGW that a secret grand jury panel continued to hear evidence in Kyron's disappearance and had convened on multiple occasions. During the report, Kyron's case was described as still active and ongoing. 2 months later, in July 2017, law enforcement conducted further searches along Skyline Boulevard, but the searches yielded no results. On June 1, 2012, Young filed a civil lawsuit against Terry, claiming that she was responsible for the disappearance of Kyron. The lawsuit attempted to prove that Terry had kidnapped Kyron on the day he disappeared. Young sought $10 million in damages. On August 15, 2012, a federal court judge denied a motion by Terry to delay the lawsuit. On July 30, 2013, it was announced that Young had dropped the lawsuit against Terry so as not to interfere with the ongoing police investigation. To this day, his whereabouts remain unknown.